When we think about money and technology, they can feel kind of cold, right? A little impersonal. But what if they could actually strengthen our most personal connections? Well, today, we're going to dive into how digital money is completely transforming the very human act of sending support home to family.
So let me ask you this. How do you send support across 1,000 miles? It sounds like a simple question, but for millions of migrant workers all over the world, the answer has always been really complicated, super expensive, and honestly just filled with anxiety. How do you make sure the money you worked so hard for actually gets to where it's needed most, safely and quickly? For a long time, the answer just wasn't very good.
And the difference between the old way and the new way, wow, it's like night and day. On one side, you have the traditional method, which was just painfully slow, bogged down by crazy high fees, and always uncertain. But on the other side, the digital solution is an absolute game changer. It's instant, it's affordable, and it's totally transparent. This isn't just some small upgrade, it's a revolution in how families connect with their money. Okay, so let's first get into the most immediate and, frankly, dramatic impact here. The incredible acceleration of money.
I mean, really think about this for a second. For decades, sending money home meant waiting for days. Just days of wondering if the transfer even went through. Days where a real emergency back home couldn't be handled. Days of lost opportunity. That waiting period was a constant source of stress for families trying to stay connected across huge distances.
And now, that entire waiting game has just collapsed, down to a matter of minutes. An urgent medical bill, a sudden school fee, it can all be covered almost instantly. And we're not just talking about convenience here. No, this is about the ability to be truly present and reliable for your family, even when you're literally a world away.
But speed is only half the story. Those old traditional methods came with these hefty fees that would just eat away at the money being sent. With digital transfers, those fees have been slashed, and that means more of the hard-earned money actually ends up with the family who needs it. Every single dollar saved on fees is another dollar for food, for education, for savings. It's huge.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. This technology goes way beyond just simple one-to-one transfers. It's unlocking entirely new ways for communities to work together financially.
One of the most powerful examples of this is something called collective remittances. So instead of a bunch of small individual transfers, groups of migrants can digitally pool their money together to make a much bigger impact.
So how does that even work? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. A bunch of people contribute to a shared digital pot. Then, that bigger sum gets sent in a single transaction. Once it arrives, it can be used for a shared goal. Think about something like buying farming supplies in bulk for the whole village, or maybe investing in a small family business together.
And the real-world applications are just so practical. These digital rails mean employers can pay wages reliably. Social networks can manage shared loans and expenses with total clarity. Seasonal migrants can coordinate on big purchases. It creates a whole new level of financial organization and, frankly, power for these communities. And all of this leads to what might be the most profound impact of all. We're not just moving money around anymore. We're actually building trust and reinforcing that human connection.
I just love this quote from our source material. A simple digital transfer can now include a personal note, for your birthday or for the school books. These tiny messages completely transform a purely financial act into a real emotional exchange. They're a reminder of love and care.
And that is exactly what it becomes. All of a sudden, the money isn't just a number on a screen. It carries intention, it carries emotion and connection. It really is a transaction with a heartbeat, a digital pulse connecting two people, no matter the distance.
And hey, on a practical level, this technology builds trust through pure transparency. A feature as simple as a digital receipt can be incredibly powerful. There's no more arguing over how much was sent or when it arrived. It's all right there, clear as day. That simple clarity removes a huge potential source of friction and misunderstanding within families. So, when you put all of this together, the speed, the low cost, the new tools, and the trust it builds, you get a truly remarkable result. This technology is literally closing the gap. That physical distance between a worker in a city and their family back in a village, it no longer has to mean a severed financial or emotional connection. Digital money is acting as a bridge, strengthening the fundamental bonds that hold families together.
And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to think about. We've seen how this tech can reunite families across continents. So if it can do that, what other gaps, in education, in opportunity, in community, what other gaps can it help us bridge next? The potential is really just beginning to unfold.